I just couldn't pinpoint what I wanted to do. And last year, 2015 started, I decided that I wanted to run one run on Memorial Day with a replica of our unit flag and just kind of spread awareness about the importance of Memorial Day and what Memorial Day is and is not. Memorial Day is solely about the soldiers who have passed, not thanking active duty veterans or anything like that. That's Veterans Day, that's November 11th. And I just wanted to spread the word as I was running that I could carry this flagpole that's normally 7 feet tall when both pieces are attached, and just share that message with people, because a lot of people don't know. And when I ran, I received a lot of positive feedback. I had people come up to me who lost family members in the war and said, hey, what you're doing is a really good thing, keep it up. I had other people who really didn't have a clue about Memorial Day and just asked me to educate them and explain what it is. They thought it was just a day off work to honor people who were serving. And, I had other people that just ran. They saw my flag at a distance, and that was motivation for them to keep running in these runs, these 5Ks and half marathons, to keep pace with me. Because if a guy carrying this flag, for whatever reason he was representing, could run a long distance, then they should be able to push themselves too for their own personal goals. So I've had a lot of stories happen to me through my running, more than I could probably share here. But what it did was it motivated me to get all the guys that were killed in action listed here on these different streamers, and I'll explain what those mean in a second. And just kind of run to raise awareness that freedom's not free. It comes at a cost, and when people ask me about it, I tell them. So I ended up running 62 races last year in honor of those who passed, 10 half marathons and various 10 kilometers and 5-kilometer races, and a total of almost 1,000 miles carrying this, mainly in the state of Michigan, and just sharing stories about who some of these guys were, and hearing the stories from other people I interacted with that had people that passed too. So I'm still running this year, and I'll be adding Matt's name as a streamer to the flag here. It'll be red with white lettering, which is the color of the cavalry, and sharing stories about him. And I really wished I could have had the streamer here in time for this. Unfortunately, the shop that made it couldn't get it done in time, but that's okay. I didn't get frustrated about it, because I said, you know what, if Matt wanted this here, if he wanted his streamer on here, he would have made it happen somehow, but it didn't come together. But fortunately, I did get this here through the airport security, and it wasn't an issue. The red and white colors are traditional of the cavalry, going all the way back to General Custer, who used to ride on horses. It stands for death before dishonor, or I'll give blood before I surrender. So you wouldn't want to surrender in war. All right. There's some numbers on here. There's a number 1 over here, which stands for the 1st Battalion, and then there's a number 13, which stands for, at the original time the unit was formed, the 13th Cavalry Regiment. It was later converted to an armor unit. And then the cross sabers stand for the symbol of the cavalry. There's 16 different streamers on here. The yellow ones are soldiers who were in the armor, so they rode in tanks or in up-armored vehicles, and I have their names here and the dates that they passed. These 2 bright blue ones, these were mortars, so what they did was they shot artillery-like devices onto the battlefield indirectly. And then there is 2 other darker blue ones. These are helicopter pilots that we lost in the war in Iraq. And then there's red ones here. Sergeant Jacob Butler, he was actually the first one from us to lose from our unit on April 1st of all days, 2013. He was the first one we lost. He was part of the cavalry. So not all of these men died in combat. That's how I originally started out doing this, was representing those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And I became aware that there were others who passed from heart attacks, from PTSD. Some chose to take their own life. Some were their life was cut short in car accidents and things like that. So they're no less important than everybody else. So I've kind of added them to this, and that's why I'll be adding that to this as well, because they sacrificed time to serve our country for freedom, and that's what I'll be doing. And I'll leave you in closing with a couple of statistics that a lot of people don't realize. But when we talk about freedom's not free and what is the cost of freedom, the cost of freedom is over 1.3 million lives, because that's the amount of soldiers, both men and women, who have given their life for this country in combat. There's over 55,000 homeless veterans on the street right now, because when you get out of the military, you have to figure it out. You just get dumped out there, and hopefully you have family to help you out. But for those 55,000, they didn't have anybody to go to, so they're homeless right now. There's a national average of 22 soldiers that commit suicide, 22 veterans that commit suicide every single day in this country. Not every week, not every month, every single day. So that's a well-known national average. So those are some pretty shocking numbers, and I have people ask me, well, what can I do? And what I would encourage you to do is, I would encourage you to talk to your state representatives, because those are the people we elect to speak for us, and see, what are they doing about some of these things, and what can be done, and let your voice be heard. And I guess we can only hope through the government structure we have set up that the right people will hear that, and maybe change can happen, so 22 veterans aren't taking their life every day, and we don't have 55,000 homeless veterans on the street. Really, veterans should be the best cared for people in this country.
That's right.
So Matt, he was in closing. Matt, the guy, he had a big heart, and that's probably the best way. Because he wanted to do well. He had a big heart, and he lived by his own rules, but he had a big heart. So I'm honored to serve with him. I'm glad I could be here today, and I'm glad that I'm going to be able to represent him as I go on throughout my life, running different events and raising awareness that freedom's not free. And whether it was him or somebody else, they all made sacrifices for this country, and we shouldn't forget about that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly what I want to bring up. Reach out to anybody that served or still serving or has served, just check on them. Call them up. What can I do for you? How you doing?